Jela ma prize afana.
What definition?
Okay.
And how they
Utsafi, aka Nana.
We.
Unana ga happy wakhe.
Yeah, I will. No way. Yeah.
Also,
Okay,
guys,
so
this is the show that brings you upcoming and renowned artists, whether locally or international. Sizonilethela bonke.
An essay. In this podcast, we bring you your favorite upcoming artists from local to international. Please do stay tuned and enjoy this episode. On today's episode, we have Quinton, better known as Quinton Shabba. We will be interviewing him about his latest album. How are you, sir? Namnyaphila Puti. Actually, please do reintroduce yourself again. I know you were once part of the show. Please just introduce yourself once again for people who are, the first-time viewers of this episode or this platform, to be precise.
Alright, mina nguthabiso Quinton Shabalala ngokuzalwa, but as an artist Quinton Shab. Ngizalelwe Whiteville, ngikhulele Whiteville, ngifunde Whiteville from primary to high school. Then ngayi Pretoria to pursue my studies. Ngabuya eWhiteville ngafunda amanye ama-studies, but ever since throughout ngifunda so loku ngi-artist. Started recording my first song 2013.
Okay. So when did you actually discover that you were an artist? What triggered that in you?
Well, as Utabiso, from grade 4, I used to like to palama poem, especially love poems. So say out as a mukchama. Yeah. So some of our ngani bami ngihlala nabo beba already beseba rap by that time because bengahlali nintanga zabo. So but I thanga the poem yakho imnandi. Why don't you try to make it sound more like hip hop? But I flow is on top of the beat. Some flow and then I try then obviously I'm hip hop because bongumuntu vele bengithanda all along. Well, easy ukuthi 81 or 2 ukuthi ngibomra.
Okay. I heard you saying that you started in 2014, 13.
13. Yeah.
So how long has it been now? It's approximately 8 years.
Yeah.
So have you stayed consistent in like being an artist? Like have you, probably released some music in like maybe say for a duration of a year, you've been like consistent in making music, and if so, has it like really paid out in a way? Have you reached ama views, la mongathandwa view or reach, I mean, as artists we set goals for ourselves, right?
True.
We aim to different heights.
Yeah,
so
that's
with
true.
you in starting this entire thing, like where have you gotten according to the goals that you've set for yourself as an artist?
Well, to be honest, Ngatini, when I started having a crew. So crew, it's almost a challenge ukuthi ungaba like the exposure of the whole crew.
Yes.
Then the crew by 2015 azange saba that close up, but 2018 ngama chance decided to die. My chance mina ngifuna ukwenza mina na nobani ufuna ukwenza yena, so we splitted. 2019 2018 that was my first time in proper mixtape, my own personal project. From 2018, ever since 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, last year, even this year, I've been dropping a project every year.
Okay. So are you like registered with any record label? Because hearing you say you didn't really tell us what kind of artist you are. Well, I did hear you say that you rap.
Yeah.
But in terms of complying ama mixtapes and whatnot, that's like a different kind of skill. It's on a different kind of level. Now you need to know how to mix and master certain stuff. So where did you learn that skill? Is it the kind of people that you were hanging around with, as you said, now ukuthi mongahlali nabantu abayintanga zakho at that time? Because I'd like to believe that they were also exposed to like this music thing and how to, go around this industry as a whole. Some of them, they were probably producers, some of them were DJs, some of them were also vocalists or rappers, who knows. But generally, what we'd like to know is, where did you learn the skill?
Well, ukurapha ngathini, it's kind of like wonke umuntu uyakwazi ukucabanga. That's first thing first.
Okay.
Then for mina ukuthi it was just ukuthi ngithathe umcabango wami make it a song. Yenze ingqondo to another person. So ukuproducer nani nani azange ngathi ngifundiswe a certain person. Into engiyifundele mina personally ku-YouTube. Ku-YouTube nakhona the reason ngize ngifunde ku-YouTube is because amajita besesisplithile, so no one was beka involve omunye ku-space sakhe, so I took now my time ukuthi ngizifundise and then produce myself.
Well, that's good. It's actually important as artists that we actually invest in our craft, invest in growing as brands, because a lot of artists enter this industry, or a lot of wannabe artists enter into this industry because they think, oh no, there's a lot of money. But come to think of it, we actually go through the most as artists.
Yeah.
One really needs to stay disciplined and consistent in everything that they do. That way you're able to take risks and make sacrifices and get to where you want to get to in life.
Right.
Yeah. So nah, man, your story is really heartening and it's inspirational. I'm inspired myself as an artist, you know.
Yeah.
So please let us know about your latest album. What is it about? How long did you take to produce it, compile it? Who did you feature? Are you alone in this? Or what?
Yeah, i-album ngilidrope this January 2024. Ngifeature uFly the Deity. He's one of umngani wami, long time friend, and also a partner on a record label esivulile, which is Out of the Box Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a 5-track mixtape which called Heavyweights. The reason the city heavyweight is not just because we're feeling ourselves pale and none, but just being an artist, that's a heavyweight to blow up. It takes a lot for you. It's a lot of weight you have to take to be on the top of your game. So Ngoma, it's much more of like old school hip hop where we strictly rap. I'm not trap or club bang and none, which is pure hip hop. First track because it's excellence. Second track, it's legendary status. Third track is more time. Fourth track is life. It's basically last track is the theme track album, which is Heavyweight.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'd like to know is, whenever you focus on like a body of work, say for example now you wanna release a body of work, which is probably, in this sense I'm referring to an album or an EP or whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you as an artist go through a phase where you like, okay, so this album is actually dedicated to a particular phase that I've encountered as an artist in my life or as an individual? Because having to hear amagama wala matrek,
Yeah.
right? There's life, there's what's the first one?
Excellence.
There's excellence. So in those terms on its own, they mean quite a lot.
But yeah, true,
So
true.
I really just want to know, is it like referred to a particular experience that you've been through, or something that you are currently going through? Is it an ongoing thing, or like is there a story behind it?
Well, yeah, the reason the whole trip is a figure to Heavyweight and ama-title wengoma and none. Ngathini, because it's a collaboration mixtape. I didn't want to go to mina nosia when you listen to tracks, kube ngathi we on a competition. But kubo music ukuthi okay, we talking about same thing but on different perspective. So about excellence none. We just talking about like what do you do which you think is excellent as a person, and what are the things which you think are excellent for you as an artist. If I can do this and this, I'll be excellent as an artist. They say about second track about legendary status. Reason with legendary status, ngathini for me personally, even my verse, the reason it's legendary status is because I feel like I've done whatever I have to do as an artist in register. Really, I've dropped music. I've done everything that I have to do. the only thing I'm just waiting for would be like like investors, people with money, people who have shows and stuff, bank poking and that. Then for me, I think that will be on my legendary status personally, not for other people.
No, you have a point, and it's like your point is actually quite valid. I feel like this whole platform for me, Lynn Knight's like kind of very close to my heart because I get to get different perspectives from other artists as much as I am one to like there's quite a lot of stuff that we go through as artists,
Yes,
and people just see the outside and they think, oh no, everything is good, it's amazing, but to be quite frank, we go through the most to get to where we want
yeah,
to.
we should most of
It's as kali per se, like life has challenges.
True.
Universe has its way of handling things.
Yeah.
But I've also like ventured into like manifestations of stuff. Like whenever I set a specific goal, especially when in terms of my music career, it's actually quite a very, very, very delicate part of me. Yes. So it's very much important to get artists that are devoted to what they do.
True. Yeah.
Don't just do something because you wanna
Be
about
part
the
of,
clouds,
yeah.
legendary status. You can still make it out there without them.
Yeah.
You can still. It's just in your mind. It's just that you don't know it yet.
Yeah.
But trust me, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. So yeah, man. What would you say to other artists out there that like also wanna push and release music as much as you do? Because I feel like there are other people that go to studio each and every day, but I feel like they're not as committed and consistent in doing it.
Well, ngathini, as people, as fun, ngathini, for me personally as an artist, ngisatha ngathini as like imoto. Whatever abu engine nani it's hard work that I put in for me to move from point A to point B. Angaze release ingoma before, but I had to write first ukuze ngikwazi ukuya studio ngirecord ingoma. So abanye abantu ngathini already babona ubani unengoma nani but kanti maybe you can do it uyenze easy, maybe ucabangile nje wa record nani. But sometimes ezinye ingoma maybe it's a deep song. You are ngesingoma ukuthi maybe ngabhala lemhlaba ecedile engiqedile kanjalo because it has to mean something for you. So for me now as an artist ngathini yenza into oyifunayo ungabheki into abanye abantu abasibhekayo, because for mina personally imali is needed for me ukuthi ilife iphile ngikwazi ukuzisupport nginakekela umndeni. But for mina hip hop ngathini music, it's one of the therapy enginayo, something engifilayo, something engicabangayo, something engiexperiencile. I can talk about it as a third person too. Yeah.
So with this is now like my personal opinion, right? I feel like a lot of artists lately, they no longer focus on the body of work, meaning Houthi, like manje seba release that because they wanna
Keep up with the cloud.
keep up with the numbers.
Yeah.
It's no longer a thing Houthi. Now I'm gonna make music that it will be solely focused on healing.
True.
Connecting people or keeping people connected.
True.
Bringing people closer, Guti, maybe one, like there's a specific genre that I like, deep house. It's the kind of genre that can never be replaced by anything.
Yeah,
because it brings everyone together, different races, different kind of artists,
and it's international.
Exactly my point. So that's like really, 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 really proper. So when are you planning on like releasing your next album? Like,
or this year September, I want to drop another solo project, which is an album. Because Natini, I haven't dropped like a complete album. Solo drop my mixtape EPs. So one man feeling ngati I should drop an album because EP and mixtape for me it's a different thing to an album. Album, just like take it as like an engine. When you say it's an album like Mama album in so album it's like a storytelling thing, which okay from this to this go. So album will be more based okay as Quinton shabba and then lapping corner because of the reason I give up even though I'm not on the level that I want to be, it's because of ukuthi yini is grounding.
Okay. I heard you saying earlier on that you have a 9 to 5 job,
Yeah.
and I just want to ask a very, very, very sensitive question. Would you quit your job to fulfill your passion, like to fulfill your calling, like, taking a leap of faith, saying, "What, you know what, this 9 to 5." Personally, I'd say the 9 to 5 job that I have is draining me. Like it's
Yeah.
draining me mentally, it's draining me emotionally, because one, it was never part of my dreams.
Yeah.
But
I
I
know
think
that.
at that time I was very much naive to a point that I didn't understand the whole dynamic of having to go through certain phases in order for you to get to where you want to. You can't just wake up one day and be a superstar.
Yeah,
You
true.
need to work your way up
Up,
there.
yeah.
So in this case, will you be like willing to say, you know what, I'm taking a leap of faith. Right now, I'm gonna focus on making music career work. I'm gonna be consistent in going to studio every time, collaborating with people, making music, making sure that I always drop. And Guti, like, getting booked is not guaranteed. But it is guaranteed if you as a person we have push.
Push.
So will you be willing to take that risk? Phela, that's like a life-changing decision.
Ngathini, abona my artist, I think you need 9 to 5. I think you always have le nto lokuthi yo mangaphuma kulo msebenzi lo. But for mina ngathini, asi decision that engavuka kusasa ngithi ngiyayeke le msebenzini just because ngi-artist nani, because I feel personal, I still feel ngiyakwazi ukuzendlilisha even though ungasithandi ukuyi-Ispan, but at the same time ngikhulile endlini mawukhula as a male person. Umama wakho ufuna ube responsible, even if maybe I'll support yena, but kumele uyoqala ukuthi ufunde ukuzithengela 1 and 2, ungasaceli imali every day. Uma ufuna uhalele something or naye umspoil as your mother, usiloko kuspoil umncane. So ngathini, for mina 9 to 5 is like my hideout sport until everything I'm in music, it's like on the level like ukuthi okay kusasa
Kuza
manje
nge-album yakho,
yeah.
asizivukile. Like, this question that I'm gonna ask you is like, yeah. So I mean, I heard you say that the album yakho, it's based on like the stuff that you've went through, right? Like, it's basically you relating it to Jenny How.
Yeah.
Because there's life, there's
More time
and
heavyweight.
Yes, heavyweight. That's the word. I just wanna ask you, like, I think according to my research,
Yeah.
having looked at the music that you've released and the music that you've made,
Yeah.
it's music that is like very, very focused on you. Like, yes, it's about you because it's your music, but I man. Akunam jolonyana, Gucci baby kid, I love you or something. Like, hey, mina ngisa understand demand.
Here's a funny part. Yeah, last year I've dropped through July. I've dropped 2 projects in 12 songs and in 13 songs. Ganjani, this mixtape in drop it this week. The other one I drop next week. The first one in drop was Tag Along. The another Tag Along. The Tag Along was 30 love songs, which was
Really?
13 love songs.
Okay.
Which Global love song is different love songs.
So what inspired you to do that, release that mixtape? Moko through a phase yomjolo or something, or muzithole lumapezanyana?
Ngathini, usually my music is more about me. Ngathini, it's not even about me pale. Sometimes I tell a story from a third person.
That person's perspective.
Yeah, for example, you can watch a movie. But go to umngane wakho bengibukele movie so. Umngane wakho can ayicabanga ukuthi yo tango umenza yini. So to mina personally ngathini, uNtango uyajola. Okay, ngiyabona ukuthi okay ama-flow kanjani nobhebi wakhe or ibaflow kanjani nobhebi wakhe. Mangiyi-one, I can write that as if nami ngithola untanga ngithola noshirwa.
ngathi yashutha lo bafethu ayikho leyo.
So you want to tell me every person who wrote a movie who acted?
No, but like you can't like legit write a love song. 13 songs to be precise. We're not one up in like a third person perspective.
Akhona ama love song ukuthi vele like lawo bokwawo like bangijovile nami.
Also when I'm in relationships somehow.
Not, I wouldn't really say ukuthi being good relationship somehow because ngiqale before I even got to a relationship.
So maybe entanglement, yeah.
Not even that. Ngathini, the reason I even thought of ukuyenza lela mixtape was because I've been like away from ukubhala ama love song nani.
Why?
Ngathini, how I most of the time like ngibona ngakhona most abantu abadescribe ngakhona abantu abathanda nani usually basho ukuthi oh hayi mama nobaba or uboy no girl kuphela. So mina ngathini ngikhulele esithembini.
Oh really?
So for mina ngathini mangizokhuluma ngento kanjalo abantu bathi le promise yini. So for mina most of the time mangihlezi ngicabanga ukubhala about love song for mina bokuthi next time. So until like why not?
Okay, tell me. So since you saying that manje so release file manje yo. Okay, so since now you saying that we're not and whatnot, like have you ever had a thought of also implementing that in your life?
Bengiqalela ngisakhula, honestly, until you grow up and eventually makhula izinto zayenzakala. So ngathini ubabami uyele washona, he passed away. So izinto ezenzakalile after him passing away, the person who started leso symbol leso izinto ngathini azikho asafani nale way yena sesekhona, the person who was handling yonke into. So mangicabanga future for intwana zami I don't wanna put them on such a situation.
So don't you think at some point it was also his wish for his kids to continue his legacy? I mean, think of it this way. Musamsele, right? He started his tembu, of which he also, I'd like to believe, Gutukulele tembu, as he says, Lena. And now you seeing him groom abantwana bakhe into this direction, Lena aitatile. And more than anything, he's like trying to, more apart from like him wanting them to follow into his footsteps, but at the same time he wants abantwana bakhe understand the whole dynamic. It shouldn't be the whole thing yokuthi no nginesithembu ingoba ngifuna ukuba nabafazi amaningi. Kune stereotype around men bathi amadoda ayahala nimadoda asazi tsheleni yahala or kanjani. Mara anyways asikho lapho, like don't you think at some point your dad would have loved for you to continue his legacy or continue his legacy because it's a man's greatest thing, it's a man's greatest treasure to have umntana womfana wabantwana babafana ukuthi bazokhulisa isibongo. So don't you think now you should like venture into that? Maybe you can like write a love song about insizwa zakho vele uyinto oni.
Well, personally from mina njengomuntu omkhulisile ubabami ngathini bokumuntu njalo beka emphasize ukuthi yenza lento ofuna wena. For example, ngiyarap ubabami msibeka i-strictly Zulu person. Lo mZulu lo ongathi irama uthi lama. Yabo, so ngathini even growing up nami bengalaleli any other like I know baba ukuthi bekalalela i-radio especially on Saturday ekuseni. Was a show edlala ku Cause FM yabo play yabo Little Smith Break Mambas.
Yes.
There's a genre yabo edlala every day Saturday since Qatsami. Abantu abaskena deep bathi yini ingoma ebusuku. Yeah, so we bedlala I think about 4 to 6 ekuseni.
Really?
Yeah, so nami ngakhula like ngihlala naye ngizilalela lezo ngoma lezo. After that I knew ukuthi okay, look at me maskandi. So umuntu ustrictly vele to uZulu, but mina mangithi nya rap what wangijabulela Angijabulela ndo understand. Bengangifuni iteki just iteki nje ngokwalo. Bekahleza yamela ugcoka isicathulo but mangim-understand zami nabo bangumrap. Ngo-understand.
So mawuthi mekangazifuni iteki like kanti nina nigcoka icathulo ezinjani na?
Now, Bommy was more like a formal guy.
Really?
Yeah, but ubaba masutu,
gentleman. Okay.
ubaba uyikwabula amabhasi what's abisa and stuff.
Yes.
So ubaba ohlezi agcoke tie, ubaba kanjalo.
Every day, 7 days a week.
Not every day, but most of the time bekagcoka like njengobaba.
It's very formal.
Yeah.
So do you think people that wear sneakers and jeans aren't abo baba? Like, you know, there are people that like have families, you know, like banemizi yabo, but you know, they do it. They prefer wearing jeans and sneakers and shirts. Like, what do you think of that?
Ekhathini zakhe sakhula. That's why ngithi ugqoka njengabobaba. Ekhathini zakhe kule era leya abobaba there was a certain specific way ukuthi abobaba bagqoka so maba a certain age. Manje abobaba sebagqoka anyhow. Jay-Z, abo Rick Ross, abobaba labo badala labo bagqoka the way bafuna ngakhona. So kule age in this new age esikuyo ungahamba unqunu so
yeah. Do you believe in like stereotype? Like stereotype in a sense that mawiyindoda you need not do certain things. Like say for example, nowadays you find men that are like gay, which there's nothing wrong with that. But like, do you believe in lento stereotype to say angeke uzuthole indoda iseyifake lipstick igqoke isketi, you know, because I think in culture how especially Zulu people, they're very strict on that. Like they're super strict. Like they're so against that. I know there are other Zulu families that like do accept it because they have this thing yokuthi no, it's fine, ingane ingazikhethela ukuthi ifuna ukuphila kanjani. We cannot really dictate as to how ingane kumele iphile. But what's your take on that? If ever it happened ukuthi wena you happened to be gay and you were rapping, what do you think your dad would have said?
Bezukhala. Maybe kube ngayenyangeni bangicaba ngaba right.
Unamanga wena.
But ngathini angaze like the way ngikhule ngakhona bonga nanzondo endlini. Like ekhaya engikhulele emndenini which is very big. So even like ama-race amaningi ekhaya kunamaZulu khona abantu abangamapedi same family khona abangeTsonga half Tsonga nani so ngathini inhlobo yabantu abaningi ngijwayele so mina vele ngakhula bangifundisa ungajaji omunye umuntu because the first time I think ngithi ngihleka umuntu ukuthi there is something wrong ngaye was I think grade 3 nomngani wami like besihlezi sikhera every day. So that day bengakhiranga so because singabontanga singabantwana mina ngayihleka le nto leyo ngajela bami abantu bengakhiranga sasa azange ngikhirise nami ngihamba esikoleni ngisaid mangibuka nje anayo imali yakho bengifuna ukuthi uze ukuthi ufile kanjani. So ngathini mina the way ngikhulisa ngakhona it's always ukuthi zifake ecathulweni zalo muntu lo before usho something kulo muntu lo because naye mangabe usecathulweni zakhe asho something bozofila kanjani.
So basically khule ekhayeni emebakufundisa ama values.
True.
Know, and like having morals as a person.
Kuze endlini ngena ngo6 umntana omncane.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's like I'd like to believe that. I mean, I also grew up that way. Everyone else grew up that way. And like what's your take on how like things have changed nowadays, you know, like you see especially in like being an artist, like you know, you get a lot of people that like want to be people who they're not, you know. And I think in everything that I've asked you now, it goes back to album now. Each and every terminology that you used for the songs in your albums, you know, like they are very significant in a sense that it's they're based on immorality, like having morals and self-value. you know, whose value as a person. Because, you know, if you then focused on life ya how in general, you then able to, you know, check each and everything that you do, how you go about bophelo ba hao and whatnot. I don't know, you can probably just explain to us, Wuti, like what inspired you to like choose those terms specifically for those tracks.
Well, ngathini even like how engititling ngakhona ama tracks wami, it's a term whereby umuntu mongambuza a question about this thing ukuthi okay, what would you do if ngisifaka legama ukuthi sebenzisa something issue something about legama leli, uzoza ne perspective yakhe nobantu bazoza ne perspective yakhe. So how I named mina no Siya, we named ama track ukuthi okay mntanga wena ufuna ungathi ngadayidengi le, to the point ukuthi even other tracks we're talking about the same thing, we're talking about the same terminology, but you know ukhuluma ngendlela on his own point of view, nami ngikhuluma with my own point of view.
How long have you been friends with Siya?
Siya ufike eWhiteville 2016.
So it's not that long since you've been friends.
Yeah.
And like ever since your guys have been friends, how has your relationship been? Has there been like consistency in making the relationship grow? And like what would you say about him? Because you feel like Ari, in everything that you've said, like yeah, it seems like he has a very special place in your heart.
Well, ngathini I'm a person ongabelievile ukujikelele ukujikela abantu, but at the same time I'm a person okwazi ukunikeza nespace. I'm not too cliche or noma even ngingaba impintshi. As long singajump iviki not even like sibonane, but angikrenda angisharp, so almost wonke amajita wami, because there's even abangani bami that are not ama-artist njengabo Milling nani, but all the time I keep tabs nabo ukuthi into angikrenda nani. So ngathini angisumuntu wabangani kakhulu, but the little few people that I know I always communicate nabo nani.
Yeah, that's good. So basically you are a genuine person.
Yeah, moyibona kanja.
Okay, I mean, you can tell me, are you a genuine person? Or are you the kind of person that like umuncikazi labantu?
Ngiyakusaba ukumuncikazi labantu.
So do you believe that like it's important for a guy to have a partner in their life? Sesibuyele emjolweni phela manje ngoba ungibalekile. Yeah, ngiyazifuna.
Even ekhaya there's yabona there's le konje babiza ngani emalungu poster babeke emabondweni endlini that have ama says nani.
Yes.
Ekhaya khona elikhona elithi ekhaya ngomama walo. So endlini like uhlezi ufune kumama.
So khona mama.
Yeah, kumele abe khona.
How long has it been?
Ekakabini cool from last year.
Okay. And are you liking it? Like what?
It's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah.
What's unfair to you?
It's when umuntu uzwana naye, then lo muntu uzwana naye demands or requests more than what you are.
So is she supportive when it comes to craft their house?
Yeah. Uyilo artist, but uyilo drive kwa uyisponsor.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, for real?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And how did you guys meet? Tell me about it. That's like so interesting. Having a partner that is a rapper and like having someone who is quite yeah. Like wow. Tell me about it.
Well, even like nami mangathi ngiyazisho ukuthi ngumuntu onjani lokushini. Like umjita wesekasi. Umjita wesekasi to the point ukuthi
okay, wo. Umjita wesekasi unjani? Ngicela usi-explain la thina saziqale masababs hayi asazi.
Well, mangizothi umjita wesekasi, on my perspective, mangizothi umjita wesekasi. For example, lapho engikhulele khona eWhiteville. Whiteville khona amaTsonga, khona amaZulu, khona amaXhosa, khona amaVenda, khona like different races. So umjita wesekasi mangithi you out. There's a person who's going uphuma out. we're always outside.
Out. Mama out.
So most of the
That was actually a bar right there. Aye, mama, that was a bar, Shem.
so mangithi mina ngimjita sekasi almost language abayikhuluma ekasi ngiyazama ukuyikhuluma.
Okay.
Amajita sengisamakota ekasi ngikhuluma nayo strong.
Out. Ma out.
Yeah.
Ha,
The reason that you out, I need to go out.
So okay. This whole concept of going out, is it you getting out of your comfort zone, like you putting yourself in another person's shoes, so that now you can understand where they're at, in terms of mindset or emotional or whatever it is.
Funny part here or funny fact, ukuthi ukube out it's we see so long ngendlela is different there's amajita. Abanye ama-out mawaphuma ngaphandle amajita they break them. Futhi mawaphizi makudlala umaphinda nani. If wena njalo lo hliza afika ahliza ahetheka kakhulu, I don't thinking.
So mawumjita meliqina isibindi.
Yeah.
So now uqina isibindi waba out wathola umedela.
Akusizi.
Okay, makusho ukuthi ngihlangani.
Well, dala ngimazi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hayi dala mbhekile guys. Yabona ama-out. Out. Actually,
yeah.
I have Mr. Ghost who's sitting there with the audience. Young tall. May I fry Quinton? I feel like I've been a bit lenient, but anyways, you'll still see more of me, yabo. So let me just give Mr. Ghost the man, Mr. Ghost Carter, as Muze the brother, Imubuzonyana. Over to you, Mr. Carter.
This is your boy, DJ Kara. You know me. Okay, so Mr. Q.
Sure.
Welcome back to the show. We had you last time.
That's born.
You this time. I shoot or like you resident.
I resident
for sure. Yeah.
So what I want to ask is based on your album that EP that you just released.
Yeah.
With the track no for track until I would say I5
yeah.
But you never mentioned them that much. So tell us more about them. What inspired them?
Well, in life, it's ngatini. My perspective in Islam, mina I'm doing it for life. This rap thing, I'm doing it for life. You see, as perspective, what would you do if it's like a circle in part of your life? Maybe you're sure or something happens. What would you do as part of your life? Let's say for track, more time, like if it won't be because I'm a con. But I need more time to finish up my puzzle. I need more time killing it and I'm pay for more. I need more time coding even in YouTube. So it's basically good coding and tell you that chance would nami like is like for full my dream one. They say you have weights ngatini. It's every rapper track supposed to have. With more rapper Joe. First thing first. Guzo record your artist confident yafuneka angeke uzo record track ngathi uyakhana. So heavyweight show ngathini it's me dropping bars ukuthi asho lapho engikhona dog angeke ukuthi uvuke kusasa ungichekile isitulo sami lapho engihleli khona I'm a heavyweight regardless ukuthi maybe wena uhlele ku fence isitulo mina ngihlele esibhedaba but kulesi enguzwa ngeke ungene because I'm a heavyweight kulesi sami. Yeah.
So based on the name that you just gave us, like how much tracks wako, what inspired them? Ngisho manje bositshela ngealbum ukuthi inspire you.
Yeah.
Like igama like ukuze uname track yakho. Usuke ulicabange kanjani lelo gama uthi ufike ukuthi ku heavyweight usuke it's because of the buzz that you've said on the song or it's because of it thought about you around that time.
And then before that, sorry, go get him blooming. Yeah, well, actually, is Pinders are pulling up again. So go my life, Mara explain. There's this verse where you like, oh no, it's actually not my life, it's more time. Uthi nkulunkulu ngicela more time yokenzani?
Ngiphinda ngithole enye ithuba.
Nkulunkulu ngicela more time, baby girl ngicela ngiphe more time ngiyenzeni?
Ngithole ukuphefumula.
So yena ukuphefumulisa or something. Hayi mara sifo lapho.
Angaphendula
Yeah.
Well, ngathini sometimes more artist unogel maka umuntu wakho makakuthanda obvious mongekho naye ufuna ukwazi ukuthi ukuphi so ukuphi usestudio uyabuza kusho hleli nama-chance like
Yeah.
as ujida sometimes you need that time ukuthi okay uchase i-dream because ekugcineni noma ngaba uhlala nawe if you give her all the time when you gonna get the time ukuthi uhasile endlini kube grand. Yeah.
Baby girl ngicela ngisikhathi. Ay, okay, vele.
Yeah, ngiphendulile. Oh, bongangiphenduli according to amagama wami amaXhosa. Uthi igama lakho ngicabanga based on the past that you have written or ibayile nto ukuthi okay. Mangibhala le ngoma le bengisayithole ngicabanga ukuthi
Well, how mina usually write ingoma i-beats ngiyadlala then ngimame maybe i-flow for i-chorus then the words automatically ayaziphumela ukuthi okay ngifila kanjani for lo but i-first track excellence the reason mina okay usiya ubhale i-chorus but I chooses i-excellent because lapha ya uyasho ukuthi vele black excellence so I'm like hayi singaze siyifake labo ubumnyama kakhulu black just make it call it excellent kuphela bese u-second track legendary status yimi engishaya i-chorus khona ngathini the reason ngithi legendary status bengibala like the years ukuthi okay if I can continue doing it for as much as bengisayenza before ngima ngahlala another years ngiphinde ngiyenze le ain't no way ukuthi angeke ngizokwazi ukureach my optimal prime level ngizoreach which obvious wonke umuntu when you on your best automatically dog uzoba i-legend and automatically when you legend that's the legendary status akekho umuntu ozithatha la yini kubo bese i-life.
Give that one a round of applause of it too. I must give it to him.
Bese i-life it's ngoba ngisho ukuthi mina ngirepe ukuthi I'm rapping for life, I'm doing this for life. Usiya yena urenga ukuthi how you what you gonna do if you lose them on your life. Bese i-4 track more time reasoning ngicabanga more time should we already recorded other songs so I'm like grand yini short that ngiyabona grand dog if we can just get more time to slowly shine inamba singa give up dog eventually like good doors will open like good ears will hear us and so pop actually so we just need more time with this talent esishaya bese heavyweight show already use plan okay we record a smaller nyana thing we drop it which is 5 songs so already done by 4 echo already we plan something in science so kule lapho on the booth esikuyo show we the heavyweights wala akekho umuntu ongafika angeni la ngale ngarap isigod na dog maybe mongaya kini ngangikhoda studio sakho but mina I talk I don't back down dog.
Yo, guys, I'd like to have this guy's confidence. I mean, like, yo, you need to have the heavyweight. You got to finally heavyweight, guys.
so okay, yeah, so ngiyabuza okay, so far to make the album lakho what is required exactly like based on the budget do you have a budget for it? Equipment yonke yakho and studio sakho you don't necessarily need sponsorship and stuff.
Ngathini the only thing maybe budget see for me now or from my own perspective the way ngibona ngakhona it's needed for abo marketing abo music video shoots abo social media enhancements yakho ukuthi like i-profile yakho look legit nani besides like I don't think mina I need a certain amount of money ukuthi ngize ngibhale ukubhala nje ngizohlezi ngibhala as much as bengibhala nayizolo namhlanje ngizophinde ngibhale so the only thing imali mina ngathini it's just there ukuthi into ngiqhubeke ngilolo ngibhala.
So okay, based on what you share on my music video, have you released any music video so far?
Well,
since you started
rapping, yeah. Khuluma iqiniso nje I don't have a music video.
Yeah.
But 2020 kune LTE which is also producer ngake ngaspana naye ngadrop i-project naye but he was my producer phela kulo project Wizard 98 wangishuta we were supposed to shoot a music video like a full complete music video sathini atangali namhlanje shaya i-promo clip we did a promo clip was good unfortunately only la bantwana la shona a few days after that clip, so that was my delay of shoot my first music video. But music video talk, I need them for my visual, I'm about to band the cool man. Yeah.
You know, like hearing you talk, ungenza ngicabanga siyashezi Joe. Yo, that guy, like, yabona, if only I were to watch his, like, siyashezi wherever you are, bro. Like, shout out to you, dog.
Like,
Like,
he's angel.
like yo, that guy, like, yazi ngimamela ngibuya esikolweni, like, and ngisase primary school back
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
chaya transportini kunomnye umjita me shayi ganja, yo mekashizata.
That's what she
So
is.
makafaka ma headphone, like, takutlwa kumametsing ha ke mamela umbalele.
Oh yeah, isitori sakambalele.
Yo, story sakambalele, guys. You know, so basically what I'm trying to say is unali heavyweight.
Yeah.
Like
he's
him
on his
as
prime now,
like
like
you heavyweight,
Yeah.
like even his voice.
Yeah.
So there's no amount of songs that will be released in this world. There's no amount of artists that will enter into this industry that will take that guy's
Please,
shine.
yeah.
As
yeah.
much as you need to believe in it. Akekho munye Quinton shabba. Yeah, this guy is the heavyweight, as he says, the heavyweight. So shout out to you, man. Like, thank you so much. You know,
No.
please tell us where we can get you, on which social media platform, where can we get you music, where can we hear more from you. Like, you know, we do appreciate having people like you on this platform because you inspire people out there. You know, people that someone that's looking at this video right now is like, oh my god, I'm so inspired.
Well, Quinton Shabba, even just from Google, mobile like Quinton Shabba, I appear my Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, like almost all on all of the social platforms or artists they'll I'm there.
Okay.
Call it your YouTube or Twitter or Instagram. We're available on Kinda. Just search Quinton Shabba on Kinda.
I mean, you heard it yourself. Google, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. When I get usebenzisa iPhone, ungakhona ukubhadala i-Apple subscription. Ikhona i-Spotify bafethu, like uzomamela umjida, obviously.
Yeah.
Hey, nama ngibhadala Apple Music. But anyways, thank you for tuning into Exposure Hour. And thank you, man. Thank you for coming and joining us. This was like an amazing episode. This was my first time presenting here. I do look forward to hosting more and more episodes. Do enjoy, guys. Love you lots. From myself, Baby Cakes, and Exposure Hour, and Quinton Shabba, we say thank you.
Shanga 16.
Danko, like, subscribe, and comment. Danko. Away. Yo.
Nice.